Write down what you think your family spent last year. One number, best guess. Write it down now. Keep it somewhere you can see it. In the next 8 minutes, you're going to produce the real figure. 3 numbers, 30 minutes, no app and no spreadsheet. And I want you to see the distance between the two, because that distance is why your budget keeps missing. You do not know what your family spends. You know what you remember. Memory is not a ledger, it is a highlight reel. It stores the ordinary months because the ordinary months is the one you lived most often. It quietly drops the car service, the dentist, the school trip, the wedding gift, and so on. Each of those felt like one-off. None of them were. Something from that pile lands almost every month and it never gets counted. There's research on exactly this. A few years ago, a study asked people what they spent on subscriptions. The average guess was $86 a month. The measured figure was $209. They named 39% of it. There was one category, not rent, not food, not the car, subscriptions. So the number in your head is not a lie. It is a memory doing its best with the wrong job. Your turn. Post your guess in the comments now before you know the answer. I read them all, and the gap between the guesses and the real number is the reason I made this. Step 1. Know your income, then mark the E's. Starting with what actually arrives. Every source, every month, salary, side income, benefits, everything. Write that at the top of the page. Everything after this depends on it. Now pull 3 months of statements, every account you spent from. Not 12, 3. 12 months is why people start this and never finish it. Go through it and mark one letter next to the essentials. Just the letter E. The test is one question. If you did not pay this, would something bad happen? Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, transport, minimum debt payments, those get an E. Groceries are an essential. If you stop buying food, something bad happens. The meal someone else cooked for you is not. That one is a comfort. You're not categorizing everything. You are marking one letter. Step 2. Average, then add 5%. Add up the E's for each month on its own. You now have 3 totals. Average them. Then add 5% because some months run hot. Round it up to something clean. Here's what that looks like with real numbers. A family on $6,000 a month finds essentials of $3,600, $3,540 and $3,660. Average is $3,600. Add 5, $3,780. Round to $3,800. That is their real essentials number, and it took about 30 minutes. Now go and look at the guess you wrote down at the start. For most families, it is not close and it is almost always low. You are thinking this is where I have to start tracking every coffee? You do not. That is a trap that killed your last budget. Logging every transaction is not a money system. It is a second job. You quit within 3 weeks. You marked one letter on 3 months, one time. That's it. You do not need 40 categories. You need 3 numbers. If this is useful, a like helps other parents find it. That is the whole ask. And if you're new here, this channel builds one family money system at a time, in steps you can finish in an evening. Step 3. The second number is not in your statements, and this is where most people go looking for it anyway. Your savings number is not something you discover. It is something you decide. The framework I use puts 20% of take-home income into future you. For that same family, 20% is $1,200 a month. That is not what is left over at the end. It is what leaves first on payday before anything else. If 20% is not possible right now, pick a number that is. 5% counts. Even $5 counts. The point is that it is chosen on purpose rather than left to chance. Now the part I like most, because it is the part nobody expects. You never calculate the third number. Take the income, subtract the essentials, subtract the savings. What is left is what you can spend freely. 6,000 minus 3,800 minus 1,200 leaves 1,000. That is the comfort's number, and you got it without tracking a single coffee. The math did it for you. 3 numbers, what must go out, what you protect, what is yours to enjoy. That last one is the one most people feel guilty about, and it is the one the system exists to protect. Years ago, my wife and I moved to Mexico with definitive savings and no jobs waiting. We found a hotel for under $5 a night, open sewage pipes ran through the bathroom. We hung a mosquito net around the bed and put our own sheets on it. We had budgeted 8 to 10 weeks. After that, we were broke in a country where we knew nobody. So we stripped our spending down to 1 envelope, not 3, 1. Essentials only. Every peso accounted for. That is where this started, not in a spreadsheet, in a room we could not wait to leave. 3 numbers is what that grew into when there was finally room for 3, what the number is actually for. So what do you do with a real figure once you have it? It sets your emergency fund, because that is built on essentials and not on income. It shows your true savings rate, not the one you hope you have. And it answers the question most parents never dare to ask out loud, which is whether one of you could go part-time. You cannot answer that with a feeling. You can answer it with 3 numbers. The guessing does not end because you tried harder. It ends because you measured once. So that is the whole thing. 1. Write your income at the top of the page. 2. 3 months of statements. Mark the E's, average them at 5%, rounded. 3. Decide your savings number and let the comfort number find itself. Tonight, do the first 2 only. Pull the 3 months and mark the E's. About 30 minutes at the kitchen table. Then put your real numbers next to the guess you wrote at the start of this video. You are not bad with money. You were asked to run a household on a memory. If you want the page already laid out, the first brick is free and the link is below. And once you have your essentials number, watch your emergency fund math is wrong next, because that number is what your safety net is actually built on. I will see you there.